Welcome to today's edition of BizTech on Ghana Web TV with me, Ernestina Sawa Asante. Now, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta appeared before Parliament to present the mid-year budget review. This is in accordance with Article 179 of the 1992 Constitution and the Public Financial and Management Act 921. My colleague Naoyo Korte was in Parliament and she gives us the highlight of the presentation. Do enjoy.
Hello and welcome to BizTech on Ghana Web TV with me, Naoyo Korte, right here in Parliament, where the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta presented the mid-year budget review statement and the economy policy for the year 2020. According to him, government is not going to ask for money or beg for money, but to present to the House the appropriation of funds right from the time of COVID up to the end of the year. On BizTech today, we will be bringing you highlights as well as what the minority and majority said about the Finance Minister's presentation in Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, I stand before this august House today to assure the nation that our transformation agenda is very much on course. However, with COVID-19 still with us, it is important to stress that the recovery is only the beginning, a beginning that requires our collective sense of responsibility and action as citizens to guide, protect, and participate in the recovery efforts. Mr. Speaker, this mid-year fiscal policy review that I'm presenting does not come with a supplementary budget, and our revised fiscal framework for 2021 is kept within the fiscal target of 9.5% of GDP. We are staying within the 2021 appropriation. Respectfully, Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. I'm not here today to ask for more money. I have not come. Mr. Speaker, I'm not here today to ask for more money. I have not come to ask for more taxes. I have come to update the House on the performance of the economy for the first half year of 2021 and our plans for the unexpired term of the year consistent with Section 28 of the PFM Act. Mr. Speaker, on the economic front, the additional policies and strategies outlined in the Ghana CD 100 billion Ghana Cares Over Tampa program will be vital in our journey towards economic recovery and transformation. Our strategy to place the private sector at the heart of this endeavor is to accelerate competitive import substitution and export expansion to generate sustainable jobs for our teeming youth under 35 years of age, who make up about 71% of our population. Mr. Speaker, the unemployment situation in our country has been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a situation which will confront aggressively. Indeed, it is an issue that will be at the forefront of our national discourse. The future of our young people and their livelihoods are of utmost importance to us as a nation. It requires urgent action, and the President has directed that we consolidate and implement new programs and projects to address it. It is crucial to our destiny. We will work together to sensitize and connect the youth to the numerous opportunities being made available by government, including a strategy to create jobs and business opportunities for 1 million Ghanaian youth by 2024. So far, we've developed 5 new programs, including an exciting U-Bank program. Mr. Speaker, since the presentation of the 2021 budget to this August House in March this year, global growth recovery has generally strengthened, supported by the ongoing mass vaccinations and the general relaxation of COVID-19 restrictions, as well as continued policy support. However, the emergence of new COVID-19 variants and potentially third waves in parts of the world, as well as disruptions of the vaccination efforts across emerging market and developing economies, is creating some uncertainty and threatening to undermine global recovery efforts. Economic recovery in most emerging markets and developing economies is expected to slow down, mainly due to continuous non-availability of vaccines. Mr. Speaker, to put the assessment of the performance of the economy for the first half of 2021 in perspective, permit me to restate the macroeconomic targets set for 2021 as presented in the 2021 budget as follows. Overall real GDP growth of at least 5%, non-oil real GDP growth of at least 6.7%, end period inflation of 8.0%, fiscal deficit of 9.5% of GDP, primary deficit of 1.3% of GDP, and gross international reserve to cover not less than 4 months of imports of goods and services. Mr. Speaker, even though the second quarter 2021 gross domestic product data is yet to be released by the Ghana Statistical Service, provisional data for the first quarter 2021 show that the recovery process from the COVID-19 pandemic is gaining some momentum, and the targets for most of the macroeconomic indicators are largely on track. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I now present highlights of the 2021 half-year fiscal performance. The implementation of the 2021 budget has been successful so far. We remain fully committed to achieving the fiscal deficit target of 9.5% of GDP for the year in order to not to derail from the objective of returning to the Fiscal Responsibility Act fiscal deficit and primary balance thresholds of 5% of GDP and positive primary balance, respectively, by 2024. Mr. Speaker, the provisional fiscal data for January to June 2021 show that total revenue and grants amounted to 28.3 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to 6.5% of GDP, against a program target of 32.4 billion Ghana cedis, or 7.5% of GDP. For the same period, total expenditure, including the clearance of arrears, amounted to 50.6 billion, equivalent to 11.7% of GDP, against a program target of 55.1 billion, or 12.7% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, the fiscal deficit for the period was financed from both foreign and domestic sources. Net foreign financing of 15.2 billion Ghana cedis constituted 68.3% of the total financing and included inflows from Eurobond proceeds. On the other hand, total domestic financing amounted to Ghana cedis 7.1 billion, representing 31.7% of total financing. Public debt development. Mr. Speaker, the total public debt stock as a percentage of GDP increased from 76.1% at the end of December 2020 to 77.1% of GDP at the end of June 2021. This stock includes the financial and energy sector bailouts. Excluding the financial sector bailout, the nominal debt stock as a percentage of GDP is 72.9%. The increase in the debt stock was mainly because of the Eurobond issuance of April 2021, COVID-19 pandemic effect, contingent liabilities, and front-loading of financing to meet cash flow requirements for the first half of this year. Mr. Speaker, to sustain the quality of life for Ghanaians during the pandemic, government subsidized the cost for various categories of household and industrial electricity consumption from April to December 2020. Altogether, 4,772,512 customers benefited from the electricity reliefs for the period. The policy, however, continued for lifetime customers from January to March 2021. Mr. Speaker, as part of government's social interventions for supply of free water under the COVID-19 initiative, the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources partnered the Ghana Water Company Limited and Community Water and Sanitation Agency to ensure the full realization of the objective. The program started in April 2020 and was extended to June 2021 for domestic consumers whose monthly consumption does not exceed 5,000 liters. In all, over 10 million urban dwellers were supplied with potable water by Ghana Water from April to December 2020. This initiative currently supplies free water to a total of over 2.3 million urban domestic dwellers whose monthly consumption does not exceed 5,000 liters for potable water at a cumulative cost of 836.82 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, CWSA, on the other hand, supplied 17.9 billion liters of potable water to rural and peri-urban population of 5.8 million at a total cost of 100.28 million Ghana cedis between April 2020 and June 2021. Mr. Speaker, the COVID-19 National Trust Fund was set up under Act 1013 to receive and manage contributions and donations from well-meaning individuals, groups, and corporate bodies. As at 30th June 2021, the COVID-19 National Trust Fund had received a total amount of 57.15 million in cash donations. These donations were made between the period April 2020 and March 2021. As at 30th June 2021, the fund had disbursed an amount of 52.5 million Ghana cedis for various programs as well as procurement of items. Mr. Speaker, work on the National Cathedral is progressing speedily, and following the program of the contractors, and with God helping us, the National Cathedral is expected to be officially commissioned on March 6, 2024. Upon completion, the National Cathedral will provide a sacred space for formal religious activities of state and symbolize the enormous contribution of faith to nation building. Mr. Speaker, this state and church partnership envisaged by the President to develop the National Cathedral is on course. An initiative, the 100 Cedis a Month Club, also dubbed Kitwe Biare Nswa, will be launched by the trustees of the National Cathedral on August 12, 2021, to give as many Ghanaians as possible the opportunity to be part of the history to build the National Cathedral. The aim of the club is to raise 1 million Ghanaians who will give 100 cedis a month for the construction of the National Cathedral. A special short code 979 has been developed for this purpose. We look forward to Mr. Speaker and all the members of this august house joining the 100 cedis a month club.
The Finance Minister has delivered a mid-year budget review which quite clearly will meet the aspirations of the Ghanaian people. In his own words, he recognizes the ravages that the pandemic has caused to our national economy and the difficulties brought to livelihoods and employment. And quite clearly, you can tell that this year's budget review is intended to enhance the effort the government laid out in March this year, which is that we are seeking to get into the mood of recovery so that we can recover our national economy and get the economy working again and growing again, so we can create the hundreds and thousands of jobs, particularly for the Ghanaian youth.
The media review that was just read is nothing but hopeless. It is indeed hopeless. There is nothing new in the statement, and I beg to say that the Ghanaian economy is in a bad way. In a bad way in the sense that I would have thought that this government would have learned something and have taken right decisions. But sadly, if you were to look at the statement that was presented to us, almost every single revenue item, it is underperforming. the government revenue has underperformed within the first six months of the year, approximately 2 billion Ghana cedis tax revenue. Yet, instead of the government deciding to revise the revenue target, the government has rather decided to hold it. 2 billion Ghana cedis. In fact, from the expenditure side, within the first 6 months in office of President Akufo-Addo, goods and services budget alone, they should have spent 2 billion. They've ended up spending 4.5 billion Ghana cedis, goods and services. I would have thought they would have taken a cue to ensure that our debt becomes sustainable. But rather, they have decided to go back to the bond market and borrow additional money. In fact, I have a worry. My worry is that in as much as this government has decided to borrow, they are borrowing to consume. And apart from that, all the revenue items are actually coming down. The biggest of my worry is that this budget that was presented to you at the media review is nothing but cosmetic. Cosmetic in the sense that at the end of the year 2021, we will come back and see every single target, fiscal target, being missed.
That's it from my end for BizTech this week, but my colleague Ernestina Sewa Asante is on standby.
Thank you, Naoyo Korte, for the highlights. Now, TechBits is next with Jefferson Senieja.
Hi, it's me again, Jeff from After Music. Have you ever had issues creating flowcharts? Have you ever had issues trying to get an assignment down or even a work project done which has quite a lot of complicated flowcharts? Well, I found the solution for you. There's a website that allows you to creatively present your flowcharts in a very distinctive way. This helps you actually get things done quicker and much more visible for your audience, be it for a presentation or whatnot. So let's get to it. I'm quite excited about this week's one. So our website today is Lucid Chat. As mentioned earlier on, this is a great self-help and easy tool to use to create any flowchart, be it for presentation, be it for your family tree, any flowchart. You can even use it for school staff. So it helps in many great ways, and it's very free. It's absolutely free to sign up. And once you sign up with your regular email and the rest, is very easy. There are different payment plans. There's an individual one, there's a team one, there's an enterprise one. But I wouldn't advise you to just go and just pay for anything. Use the free version. There's so many templates it still provides, and they're editable versions. So just build the free one. You can log in with your Google sign in, and you'll be able to just your full name, your email, and your password, and that's it. Or you can just sign in with Google. But Lucid Chat is great for any level of diagram or anything that you want to portray, be it the complexity or sophisticated aspect of it. It's even good for creating network diagrams and conference and complex flowcharts. So Lucid Chat, that's LucidChat. That's Lucid Chat. And I've even used it to create my own family tree before, so it's something that I recommend everyone to have a look at, and great for team planning. I hope you found this week very useful and very promising. Even if you're not going to use it, I encourage you to recommend this video to a friend or two, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
Up next is Biz Headlines. To our very first story, the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee has kept its policy rate at 13.5%, citing an increase in public debt stock and inflation. This comes after the committee concluded its scheduled meetings from July 21 to July 23 to review economic development of the country. A statement issued by the Central Bank on Monday, July 26th, explained that the decision was influenced by threats to the current economic recovery and outlook as a result of the third wave of the COVID-19 infections. The BOG's MPC added that it was also concerned with regard to revenue underperformance and government exceeding the budget deficit for first 5 months of 2021. A retired pilot and an aviation expert has described government's decision to engage Egypt Air as a strategic partner for the establishment of a national carrier as a bad move. According to Michael Yao Foley, the Northern Africa airline is not liquid enough to make the venture a viable one. In an interaction with Accra-based Asasi Radio monitored by Ghana Web, Yao Foley pointed that Egypt Air is currently in dire financial distress. Hence, government's decision to partner with it will not be in the best interest of the country. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has revealed that for the past 6 years, 47 public enterprises have submitted no financial statement to his ministry, a flagrant contravention of the Public Financial Management Act 921. He also disclosed that only 14 out of 129 state-owned enterprises and other state entities responded to the requirement of Section 93 of Act 921 to submit quarterly reports on their operations. Speaking at the 2021 performance contract signing ceremony, the minister said these statistics highlight the need for a renewed performance contract between the state and its enterprises. To recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, we must pursue accountability, transparency, and responsible custodianship. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has disclosed that government will not be seeking additional funding and a supplementary budget for the next half of the financial year. According to him, the move is intended to contain the country's rising debt stock as well as avoiding financial revenue slippages. Making the disclosure during the 2021 mid-year budget before Parliament, Ken Ofori-Atta, however, told the House that Ghana's economy was on its way to recovery. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has debunked assertions that he labeled Ghanaian traders as opportunists among the ongoing trade impasse between Ghana and Nigeria. This comes after some members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association made pronouncements against the Speaker of Parliament following an indication that the GIPC Act 865 was to be reviewed to favor Nigerian traders in Ghana. But the Speaker, during a meeting held with the leadership of GUTA to iron matters out, pointed that his statements made before Nigeria's parliament has been misconstrued by the trade union and its members. That's all for today. Keep watching Ghana Web TV for more. But before you go, log on to www.ghanaweb.com for more stories. Also do well to follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Ghana Web, and on YouTube, Ghana Web TV. My name is Ernestina Sawa Asante. Have a lovely weekend.